Welcome back to Listertainment, the channel who promises entertainment but doesn't deliver any. Today we have a video that I think will maybe be a surprise to many people, since so many people think that you just can't be knocked out in sparring, because you're not supposed to be going all out. But sometimes, people just get too excited and start swinging really hard, and a punch lands that floors one of the guys. Also, the pros who hire the sparring partners in order to get ready for the fight can sometimes be real a-holes and start going all out and try to knock their sparring partners out. You can say that they are trying to get ready for the fight, making sparring as real as possible, but still, those partners can get screwed. If you happen to enjoy this video, please give it a like and subscribe down below. Let's begin. Delfimo Lopez is a freaking amazing fighter, as he was able to beat the other great Lomachenko.
Every tool needed possibly to beat Lomachenko, and he showed that tonight.
They'll do it, and Lopez did it. He showed everything.
Lopez has amazing power and has a pretty good chin too, but he has gotten knocked down twice in sparring. The first time, he was supposedly 15 years old, going against a 14-year-old Janelson Figueroa. It was a clear knockdown, but Lopez came back and beat on Figueroa until he got frustrated and body slammed Lopez. The second time and more legit knockouts were against Jose El Rayo Valenzuela, who did it twice, 2 weeks apart. Here is a video of them sparring, but doesn't show the knockouts. Apparently, Lopez has agreed to a third sparring session to try to clear his name. Here is Jose Benavides talking about the beatings and how Lopez's dad got angry and wanted to fight everybody.
He's a left-hander, he caught him with the hook, boom, and he fucking fell, you know? And I was like, whoa, we were like, what just happened? And like 3 weeks later, TEOFIMO dad called me and he says, hey, I want to spar your amateur kid. So they got in the ring and my guy stopped them in 3 rounds, bro.
Mike Tyson, up until his fight against Buster Douglas, had never been knocked down in a competition, as he was 37-0 and was the baddest man on the planet. But in the preparation for this fight, he had a ton of distractions, including a divorce, legal dispute with management, and changing trainers. Plus, he liked to party a ton, so he was not having the best training camp, and it showed when he got dropped by Greg Page, who was the previous champion in sparring. Tyson was dropped with a short right hook in front of the entire media from the entire world, and this of course brought the sparring to an end for that day. Even with this wake-up call in sparring, he did not do any better in what remained in the training camp, and it ended up with him losing his first fight and losing in devastating fashion. Alright, so this guy is way past his prime, but Floyd Mayweather Jr. was still a great boxer, and he decided to get into the ring to do a sparring session against a guy that probably has 50 pounds on him and is 20 years younger, and he was obviously trash talking, since he's the Mayweather after all.
I ain't gonna hit you though.
So this might seem like he was off balance, or he's just old, and all this other stuff that you could say. But regardless of that, he got hit and he got dropped. I also gotta give it up to this guy, saying that he doesn't want to hurt him, but Mayweather wanted it, and he showed pretty impressive speed for a guy that big. Mayweather might have been off balance, and the other guy didn't even hit him that hard, but it still counts as a knockdown, since he was unprepared and didn't set his feet, since he was underestimating this man. Prior to his fight against Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard was planning on a slugfest against the Iron Chin Great, thinking that he had the faster hands and that Hagler had a ton of scar tissue. Luckily, he changed his game plan and won the fight by a split decision.
He's trying to prove that he can outbox him. Left landed by Hagler. Southpaw. Talking.
The reason he changed his game plan was all due to Quincy Taylor, who was brought in to spar with Leonard based on his slugging plan. But then he got caught with a vicious left hand, and Leonard was knocked out cold.
Four punches inside by Ray. Hagler looking a little... Leonard punches.
And new middleweight champion of the world.
He thanks Taylor for making him rethink his entire fight. Leonard was a 7-1 underdog, and since he decided to use his supreme boxing abilities, he was able to pull out the incredible victory. Adrien Broner is a shit talker, and he backed it up for a while, but recently he got shut down by multiple fighters. He has a pretty good chin and doesn't get hit a lot, so he hasn't been down many times. The first time was against Maidana.
The 2 rounds, and there's the right hand lead by Maidana that sticks on the right hand. Broner goes.
Years back though, he sparred against the newcomer Errol Spence Jr. before he was the champion, and the story goes that Spence caught him real bad as they were fighting in a phone booth type scenario and basically knocked him out on his feet. Here is Spence admitting to it, followed by Broner also acknowledging the good punch.
Sparring, I mean, stuff happens in sparring. I mean, a lot of people get rocked in sparring or something, or get dropped in sparring.
And you know, but there's no excuse. He caught me with a good shot.
Of all the fighters on this list, I wish there was a video of this because I always like to see Broner getting destroyed and just crying just a little bit more. Marvin Hagler had one of the best chins of all time. He was only knocked down once in his career, and that was a very questionable knockdown. This happened when he fought Juan Roldan, and it was early in the fight. He did come back and knocked out Roldan later in that fight.
Get in the condition of Roldan. There was a right hand, and I think he's saying no more. That's it.
There's no video of his sparring knockdown, but there was a story in the newspaper where Hagler was dropped for a very quick instant when he was sparring with Bobby Patterson. He was getting ready to fight against John Mugabe, where he won by a knockout, of course.
Wings 2 over the top just for good measure, and he's got him hurt. He's got him hurt. Mugabe finally goes down.
The story goes on to say that Hagler was quick to point out that it wasn't a knockdown, that he was just off balance and it was a good shot. But regardless, the world heard it as a knockdown of the great Hagler. At least Hagler quickly got up, said "good boy" to his opponent and got back to work quickly. That's how it's supposed to be done. Sometimes seeing a top fighter fight on the biggest stage makes you think that they are untouchable, but it is kind of refreshing to see that they are just normal humans that can get touched up sometimes too, as lucky as these shots may appear. Anything can happen in sparring, and all fighters understand this fact. Thanks for watching this video. See you next time.